What's up, everybody? Stephen Rankin here, Whiskey Unbound. Got a really exciting new series we're going to do. This is going to be an annual series we're going to do. Me and my brother are going to call this Merry Mash Off. So it's going to be kind of a winter Christmas series. What's going to happen is I chose 16 of my favorite-ish bottles. I'll kind of go over that more. 16 is going to be an arbitrary number. We might do 16 next year, might do less, whatever. So I chose 16 of my kind of favorite bottles, and then he chose 16 of his bottles to compare to mine, and I'm going to blind them or see who wins, okay? I know what my bottles are, but I don't know what's being poured, right? So I know the list of what I have, obviously. I don't know what my brother's are at all, okay? To put this in perspective, my brother has like 1,000 plus bottles. I've got around 125. So I'm not picking from things that I've tasted, I'm picking from physical bottles that I own currently, okay? When I say my favorites, it's not necessarily my most expensive bottles or the most expensive things I've had, and it's not necessarily my exact favorite bottles. I'm just trying to get a big range of things that were special to me or that I really had a good memory of or I really liked over and over and over again. What I found is I had about 5 or 6 Tennessee whiskeys on the list, so we had to kind of cut that down. So it's gonna be a range of things. There's not gonna be any wheat on this first list, on this first year, because I'm not a big fan of wheat, so that didn't make the list. But one last thing, with the blind battles, and you've seen this, so what I'm gonna start doing is I'm going to drink all of one, I'm gonna cleanse my palate, and then go all to 2, cleanse my palate, and then I'm gonna compare them kind of back, I'm gonna nose them back and forth. So I'm tired of, giving really good bottles bad scores or bad notes because something else is affecting it. Or with no further ado, here we go, Merry Mash Off number 1. I don't know what's in these glasses. Let's do it. All right, so here we go. Glass number 1. It's a good nose. Kind of dark, fruity. Some dark spice too, like not necessarily baking spice, but like very dark spice. It gives like a high rye bourbon. That's first drink. That's hot, but still pretty easy. I really like that. I mean, all these bottles are gonna be phenomenal, but kind of while I'm going through this too. So something else, like with my bottles, I have the advantage of having a brother that has tons and tons of stuff. I taste his samples. I've never bought a bottle that I haven't tasted. I don't just go buy random bottles that I think will be good or even that I think are good. When I'm buying bottles, it is stuff that I specifically like. I really, really want that. So that's why it was hard to choose out of my cabinet, because they're all kind of my favorites. I don't have bottles that I just kind of, it was the new Maker's Mark release or the new Buffalo Trace release. Like, I don't do that. I only buy specific bottles that I've had and really love. So a lot of dark caramel coming on that back end. So this reminds me of a Four Roses or the MGP High Rye Bourbon Mash Bill. Very dark caramel, but like a sweet, dark baking spice. I like that a lot. I know I have a Four Roses Small Batch Select in here somewhere. That was my first favorite brand. A little drying and char on the back end of the palate, like the finish. Mouthfeel is perfect. It's just warm enough on the tongue. The nose is beautiful. I mean, I really feel like that's a high rye bourbon. That's a great nose, really dark. That caramel kind of comes through on the long, slow draws. That's a great drink. Somewhere in the 80s with that. I want to say, I'm just gonna give that an 80 right now. I might change that, come back, but all right. Number 2. Also, something else that I've been doing with my private tastings, especially at Natural Barrel, and this will really help you at home. So if you would take a little bit of the drink and kind of pour it in your hands and wash your hands with it until it gets all the way dry. What you're doing is, obviously you're getting all the aromas in your hands. So you're cleansing, you're matching your hands when you bring your hand to your nose. But also, as long as you don't have a bunch of soap and lotion stuff on there, the ethanol has dissipated once it dries. And then you get a really true sense of what that aroma is. It's been blowing people's minds. It's very, very pleasant to smell it. And then it matches with with the drink. So that can help you at home as well. All right, glass number 2. Okay, so this is definitely similar. It's a little more fruit forward. I want to say like a, not a dark fruit, maybe like a mixed berry or red fruit. A lot softer on the front end of the palate, and then the tongue warms up kind of on the finish, but it was much more oily and like fluffy almost. But there wasn't a ton of flavor on the palate at first. And it's still kind of lacking, to be honest. Not as potent as one was, but there's still definitely some of that, almost like a darker strawberry, kind of a mixed berry, dark strawberry nose. A little bit of char, a little bit of like a medium char oak on the nose. Really like that mouthfeel, especially you kind of push it up into the gums. It's the perfect warmth. I don't think these are too high proof. I think these are kind of in the 110-ish area. Wow, the finish and the mouthfeel on this is really good. The nose is just kind of lacking. So right off the cuff, I'm gonna give that a 70. I'm not getting much on the nose. The mouth feels really good. The palate's a little bit lacking too. I'm gonna cleanse the palate. We'll kind of A and B them. So much sweeter, dark caramel fruit. Yeah, this almost get like, when I drink wheated bourbons, I'll get like some honey spice, honey wheat, but I don't get a lot of flavor. It's more like kind of just a spicy, kind of plain note. And that's kind of what I get on this. I know well, I'm assuming it's not a wheat because I don't have any wheats in there. So I doubt he put a wheater in there. It's not bad. It's just, it's this, but it's just muted. It's just less of it. This is just more like that dark fruit note. Man, that keeps going. Very, very dark fruit note. Gosh, that's really good on the nose. That char and deep wood is coming through more. Very sweet. That's just lacking. That's just lacking a little bit. Let me get one more palate. Got something a little bit different on that one too. Almost a little earthy on that last palate. That's a good drink. I'm gonna bump that score up to 85. I think I had an 80. I'm gonna final score 85. Really like the mouthfeel and finish on that. Palate's a little bit better too. More of a savory, varietal spice, like a lot different spices. It's not just spicy, but there's more going on with that. Maybe a grape note kind of at the end. I don't know, I might be reaching for that. I don't remember what my original score was on this, but I'm gonna call that a 67 and an 85. So clear winner. All right, what were they?
In the green was Knob Creek single barrel 14.5 year.
Okay.
And in the red, the Mary Mashoff glass was Lucky 7 proprietor 14-year single barrel.
Okay. All right, so I remember having this with my brother and really liking it. I do remember I was outside with a fire. It was chilly outside of the fire. That always makes things better in my mind. This is a phenomenal bottle. So they don't make this anymore. So this is basically kind of a dusty kind of ish. I think it was bottled in 2015. It's before they went to the new mash bill or the new bottle. Knob Creek single barrels now are 9 years old, 9.5 maybe if you find something really cool, because they're doing all those special releases now with the Knob Creek 12 year, and they had the Knob Creek 15 year, but now it's Lineage, and then Knob Creek 18 and 21. So they're not doing regular single barrel releases. They're that old. And I've had that bottle 3 times now. I actually put it in a flight recently, and every time it was just boom, hitting. That's a great bottle. And I'm glad I got that earthy note at the end, because I always said that I was getting like a dark cherry tobacco note on it. So I picked that up on the palate on that last sip. And yeah, that's a really good bottle. I think I ranked it 90 when I knew what it was, but I'm glad I bumped that up a little bit. So it's a really good bottle. Lucky 7, I don't see it around here as much. Definitely not the full gambit, but they do some good stuff. I'm not as familiar with them because I don't have any of their bottles, but my brother does. He has. I think he has all of their regular releases, but they do some good stuff, and that's a good bottle. But a 14.5-year Knob Creek, like single barrel, that's going to be hard to compete with. So, sorry, but Steve and my brother, I win the first one. You lose. I'll see you in the next one.